Today we'll be talking about the STEM Fair. I'm Anne-Marie Fiore, Director of Technology for the Wilmington Public Schools, and you are in the loop. So today we're talking about the STEM Fair. It is on April 27th, which is a Thursday, from 6 to 8 at night at the Wilmington Middle School. So we have Lisa Marie Ippolito. She's the Director of STEM here in Wilmington. Muriel Gravelisi, a reading teacher at the West School. Chelsea Lembo, a 5th grade teacher at the West School. And last but not least, Joanne Voltaggio, a 2nd and 3rd grade ed assistant at the Shawsheen. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with you, Lisa.
Sure.
What is the Family STEM Night all about?
Well, we've been doing the Family STEM Night for about 6 years here in Wilmington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an exciting night where we bring families and their children together to do hands-on experiments around STEM, which STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And we are very fortunate. We have a lot of community members who join us to share their expertise with our students and their families. We are able to do the STEM Fair through a grant that we write that is sponsored by the Wilmington Educational Foundation.
Oh, that's great. Muriel, how long does it take to prepare this magnificent evening?
Well, actually it takes a long time. Believe it or not, the minute we pack up the boxes that night from the Family STEM Fair, the next day, you know, we take all the boxes, we put them away, then we take them all back out like a week later. Believe it or not, we do. We start right away before the end of the school year, and we start looking through our inventory and materials and those different kinds of things, getting them all sorted and put away, and then we come together and we talk about, you know, what went well,
Yeah.
what do we need to improve upon,
Yeah.
and then we kind of brainstorm a couple of ideas for the following year. Then we kind of sit on that, and then we come back in September, and once again we start meeting, and we start shooting out more ideas. And then once we start to meet, sometimes, you know, a couple of weeks at a time, or once a week we start meeting, and we start talking about the theme that we might want to come up with. For example, one year we had a carnival theme, and we look at the standards, and then we start talking, okay, what can we do? And we actually came up with like Newton's laws, and each one of those were like a carnival game, if you will. And the students come in, and so we start planning all those kits, putting all those different kits together. And then we also did, one year we did the fishing derby. No, truly,
Yeah,
the fishing derby, and the kids
So much
came.
fun.
Yeah, it was. The kids came in and they weighed their fish, and they, no, really,
Yeah,
they
that's
measured the
cute.
fish, and you know, they actually used magnetism to fish for the fish, and then, you know, parts of the fish. So it takes a while to start packing all those boxes and putting all the hands-on activities together.
So it's like a work in progress all year
Right.
round.
And a very collaborative effort. Like
Yeah.
everybody on this team is very much involved. And
So I'd like
Right.
to go over to you, Joanne. How do you come up with such creative ideas year after year?
I'd have to say, Lisa and Muriel, they come up with most of the ideas. It's through using the Common Core and the standards.
All right, Chelsea, speaking of standards, what types of standards are being addressed at this year's STEM Fair?
Well, we've got standards from the science and technology standards. You know, math is also integrated into
Yeah.
a lot of the activities that students will be engaged in. You know, as far as life science go, kids will be observing and trying to communicate that animals and plants need food, water, air to survive. And then thinking about what plants and animals need, they then will be using evidence to explain that the survival of these living things is really requires that the different components work together as a system. So, you know, the body parts of animals, the
Yep.
parts of a plant. As far as physical science goes, quite a few of the stations, we break them up by grade level, will require kids to make observations to show that energy can be transferred. And there's quite a few that deal with electric currents this year. We have some really neat, I don't want to spoil it. Should I spoil it?
no, keep it a secret.
All right.
It's fun. It's always something new
Some
to see.
secret, fun, new gadgets that will be premiered at
Oh,
this year's
gadgets,
science
we
fair.
love that.
We love
Yeah,
gadgets.
some gadgetry. And as far as earth science goes, kids will be looking at landscapes, looking at different layers of the earth, rock layers, to talk a little bit about, look at erosion and what's really happening in the layers of the earth. And then there's a lot of the engineering design process that is incorporated into a lot of these centers as well. So kids will develop and compare multiple ways to transfer information through encoding things, decoding a pattern, but also a lot of modeling that goes on. Everything is hands-on, and we do have vendors that come and they share their knowledge with kids in different engaging ways. But all of the centers that we work together to create are really require kids to utilize different hands-on approaches. So, there's a lot of brainstorming, evaluating what they're doing, evaluating a model, developing a prototype, how am I going to solve this, how am I going to figure this out, and then testing that out. And then if it's not working, how do we change it? How do we make it so that it meets the requirements for what we're really looking for?
For the standards.
Yeah. Well, yes. So,
And so the hands-on, they're learning things, but it's also fun.
oh, absolutely.
And I'm sure the kids are totally engaged. It's very impressive, all the community members that come out and volunteer their time. Can you talk about who's coming this year?
Sure, we can each take a couple. So Muriel, why don't we start with you?
Okay, we actually have, and I hope I don't ruin his name, but Sergeant Framartino. He's from the Cambridge Police, and he comes in and he brings in robots. And the kids can actually operate the robots, and it shows how the robots are used to keep the community safe, and as well as the police office. No, truly.
Oh my God, that's
you
cool.
know, and the kids love it. They're all, they have the joysticks, and then we also have Chuck Kitchen. He comes in and he has a couple of long tables, and he has everything laid out for the kids to do, like magnetism and electricity, and how magnetism and electricity come together. And again, it's all this hands-on material. And then we also have William Crocker from Analog here in Wilmington, and he does a really neat thing with light and water, and flashing the light, and it looks like the water's moving, then it looks like it's standing still, and the kids love it. But all these people, and there's more. All these people come in and they volunteer their time. And
Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
Joanne, over to you.
There's the 4-H Science Pirates. It's a STEM club. Massachusetts 4-H is a youth development program open to all young people ages 5 through 18 throughout the Commonwealth. It's part of a nationwide system connected to each land-grant institution of higher education, and as such has access to the Commonwealth of Research and curriculum. In Massachusetts, 4-H is based on the University of Amherst, has offices in 7 regions of the state.
And Rochelle
It'll be-
Toth runs that for us for the science parts.
She's
Great.
awesome.
She is great.
Lisa, we're going to Pfizer.
Yes, Pfizer has participated in the Family STEM Night since our first year of providing the STEM fair, and they bring a large
That's a big company.
contingency with them, and it's very hands-on. And typically, their hands-on experiment is around the area of chemistry. And then we have had, since year 1 as well, the Wilmington Memorial Library, Barbara Rabb.
They're great.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She works so well with Wilmington Public Schools
Yeah.
across
They all
the
do.
board.
They're great.
They really, really do.
Yeah.
And so she brings STEM literature, children's
Yeah.
literature, and kids can check out the books right then and there.
Oh, that's great.
As well as she brings her 3D printer so they can see
Oh, yeah?
how that works.
Oh, that's good.
And then we also have iRobot, who's coming.
Yeah.
And this year they're bringing 4 volunteers. And actually, I know one of the volunteers is a former parent that I had when I was a 3rd grade teacher. And they're coming and they're bringing
There you
even more
go.
robots with them this year, and hopefully inspiring students to look into those fields. And then a new community member is Salem 5. And so Amy LaMarche, who's very active in the community, I believe she's on the WEF board as well. She's coming, and she's looking to work with students about money, right,
Oh.
and how to save and build.
Math.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the math piece. I think Joanne, I think you had a couple more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
do.
Yeah, that's okay.
I have Janelle Voltaggio, is a research assistant and lab coordinator for the Harvard Medical School. Beyond Benign is a Wilmington company with the concept of green chemistry and sustainability. They are working with Lisa to promote collaboration on the topic of green chemistry between Wilmington Public Schools and Beyond Benign. And the Wilmington High School Engineering Club
Exciting.
is
Yeah.
a student after-school club that is led by Stephanie Murray.
Murray.
So
yes.
sorry.
That's okay.
A Wilmington High School math teacher. This group of students are interested in the design process and solving real-world
Yeah,
problems.
that's great, the high schoolers. And Chelsea, you have some for us?
Yeah, I've got a few. So,
We got a large contingent.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Right, it's our
I
biggest
know.
year ever in terms of
Yeah.
community vendors. Yeah.
yeah, I was so grateful too because
grateful.
you know the stations are one thing, but then they make it something else. They like
Real
help us
world,
bring it to
really.
that next level. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll have Gabe Nelson here, who's a parent in the district. He's going to be representing Boston Dynamic, and his specific background is in mechanical engineering and controls. But Boston Dynamic robotics work covers mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer science, and also controls. So he's going to speak toward the different types of areas, classes, projects that their engineers would study in school and to work in that area of science and engineering. Also, he's going to talk a little bit about the process they use to create the machines that they do, and then the science behind what they do. We'll also have owl pellets there. As a station. Owl pellets is not a person going to be there. It's a big owl pellet with legs. And that's a station where kids, it's a really true hands-on dissection station. And so the kids dissect the owl pellets. They look at what's inside.
Oh, okay.
The diagram, the skeleton of the contents of the pellets. So that's really fun.
Nice.
And
That sounds like fun.
It is fun. And then we have Nick Toth coming. Nick Toth is a former student of mine who was really interested in stop motion while he was in my class and had shown me some of the videos that he had made. And we were talking about getting, who else could we get involved in the community? I thought, let me get in touch with him. So he's going to be there too, showing some kids some tips about stop motion animation. And
That's
teaching
nice.
them different things they can use at home so that they can be creative with that piece
That's
at
great.
home too.
Muriel, you want to tell us the hashtag?
Yeah, sure. Hashtag 2017 and STEM Fair.
Nice.
And I know, Lisa, you have a lot of people you would like to
Oh,
thank.
I really
Yeah.
would like to take that opportunity to thank several people. First and foremost, the Wilmington Educational Foundation, because not only through the STEM Fair, but for the other programs, they provide funding and
Yeah, they're great.
grants for our staff, and particularly raise funds
Yeah,
for
they're
our
great.
STEM Fair every year. So we're so thankful to that committee. We're thankful also, originally this idea was the brainchild of Superintendent Benton 6 years ago, and it's just grown from there. So we'd like to thank her for that vision. We'd also like to thank the Wilmington Public Schools staff. We ask for volunteers, and this year we barely had to ask because we have the same staff members who come the evening of to run the stations,
Oh, that's nice.
25 strong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
they actually ask us first. They'll email us
Yeah.
and say, "Do you have me down for it?" And I'm like, "Yes, we do."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And particularly too, I just want to make mention to about the owl pellets. Year after year after year, that station has been run by Diane Flaherty and Donna Rogers, who are third grade teachers at the Shawshene Elementary School, and they take such pride in it that they add their own details to the center as well. So we love that. We also have Wilmington High School students who come and volunteer
Oh, that's
and
nice.
support the stations. Obviously, the district administration and staff, and yourself. And we can't say enough, I think, ladies, about the Wilmington Middle School custodial staff. They treat us
Yeah,
like
they're great.
gold. The second we walk in the door, they take care of all our needs. They help clean up and
have things set up,
can't. Johnny Carroll, I mean, the names, I could just go on. And also the Wilmington DPW. George Hooper has supported us with the evening. He even sends John Reese, one of the DPW members, to come and take the boxes for us now and bring them over to the middle school, where we
That's
used to do
nice.
that ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was quite a sight to see. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but it's, takes a village, as they say.
Yeah, it takes a
to
village.
have this great event that, just to reiterate, is on April 27th at the Wilmington Middle School from 6 to 8.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. This was great.
Thank you for having us.
I hope to see everybody at the STEM Fair on April 27th. If you'd like more information about the Wilmington Public Schools, please visit our website at www.wpsk12.com. Thanks for watching.